And today, we are diving into what might just be the most explosive chapter of Sister Wives history. The day Christine Brown walked into that courtroom and changed everything. They thought the cameras had stopped rolling. They believed their secrets were buried behind rehearsed smiles, fancy dinners, and well-timed interviews. But when Christine entered the courtroom holding that sealed envelope, something shifted in the air. This wasn't just another family fight. This was the moment truth walked in, wearing heels, confidence, and years of betrayal wrapped in silence. The sound of her heels echoed through the courthouse like a drumbeat of reckoning. Christine wasn't in her usual soft colors. No floral dress, no pastel cardigan. Today she wore navy, bold, deliberate, sharp. Her hair pulled back, her eyes steady, and her heart set on justice. Behind her, Janelle followed quietly. The two women didn't exchange words, but the air between them was thick with memory. The laughter, the dinners, the late-night phone calls about Coyote Pass, the promises Kody had made and broken 100 times. Inside courtroom 3A, Robyn was already seated. Her hands clutched a pearl purse so tightly her knuckles had gone white. Kody stood beside her, arms folded, jaw tense, eyes like steel as he spotted Christine walking in. And on the side sat Mary Brown, the woman caught between what once was and what now stood crumbling. Her expression? Conflicted, haunted, like someone watching the house she built burn to ashes. The moment Christine placed that envelope on the prosecution's table, a chill went through the room. It wasn't thrown or slammed. It was placed, calmly, like a declaration. Her eyes said it before her voice did. Game on. Court is now in session, Judge Ramirez announced, his tone steady but watchful. He'd seen countless cases, but this one had that strange electricity, where family, fame, and money collided in one explosive cocktail. Christine took her seat, no lawyer beside her. She chose to represent herself, not out of pride, but principle. Because this wasn't about legality. It was about truth. Opposite her, Robyn stared at her lap, trembling, blinking fast, as if avoiding Christine's gaze could undo years of deceit. Kody didn't blink, not once. His jaw muscle twitched, a storm barely contained. The clerk began reading, Christine Allred versus Kody Brown and Robyn Brown. The words cut through the air like a blade. The accusations? Fraud, abuse of joint family business accounts, coercive control over property titles, and tampering with real estate documents tied to the sister wives' shared assets. Christine's voice was calm but carried the weight of 10 silent years. I believed in them, she said softly. We all did. Her hand motioned towards Janelle and Mary. We built this family together. We built businesses. We raised kids. We gave up paychecks to support one dream, the Brown dream. Her gaze hardened. But while we were building, they were signing. In back rooms. Without us. She looked straight at Robyn, changing titles, changing ownership, changing the story. The courtroom fell into stunned silence. Then stepped forward, Prosecutor Maddox, crisp suit, calm tone, words sharp as a scalpel. Your Honor, we have before the court bank statements, property deeds, and testimonies proving that Mr. and Mrs. Brown redirected money and assets into companies under only Robyn Brown's name, without disclosure to the other wives. Gasps echoed. Even the stenographer paused, eyes wide. Kody leaned toward Robyn, whispering harshly. Robyn's lip trembled, mascara already cracking under courtroom heat. And then Christine spoke. It goes further than that. She gestured to the envelope. This is a forensic financial report. What it reveals doesn't just affect me, it touches every part of our family's legacy. The judge nodded. Admit it into evidence. Exhibit C. The clerk slid open the seal. Paper rustled, and silence deepened. The defense attorney, a thin, nervous man in pinstripes, reached for the document like it might burn him. Robyn looked up at last. This isn't fair, she whispered. You have no idea how hard I work to keep things together. Kody was struggling. I did what I had to. Kody straightened, defensive. I put it in her name because it was safer that way. The taxes, the debt. Christine cut him off with a hollow laugh. So you stole from your wives to save them? That single sentence hung in the air like smoke. Thick, choking, undeniable. Janelle shifted uneasily. Tomorrow it would be her turn on the stand. But she already knew. There was no going back. The next morning arrived heavy with tension. Camera vans lined the courthouse steps. Reporters whispered about the Brown scandal. Inside, Janelle sat stiff, her fingers gripping the wooden bench. She'd been quiet for years, The peacemaker, the rational one. But silence, she realized, was just another kind of surrender. The judge called her name. She rose and walked forward. "I wasn't supposed to know," she began softly, "about the Flagstaff accounts. But I did. And I said nothing." Christine's eyes flashed with both hurt and understanding. Janelle continued, voice trembling. "It started small. Account names changed. Then LLCs, ownership quietly rewritten. Suddenly, all our signatures disappeared. Only Robyn's remained." The prosecutor leaned forward. "Did you ever question this?" "Twice," Janelle replied. "The first time, Kody said it was temporary. Too many names, too much confusion. The second time," she swallowed. "He told me to trust Robyn." Her voice broke. "And I did. That was my mistake." Christine closed her eyes. It wasn't anger anymore, it was mourning. For the trust lost. The prosecutor's tone sharpened. "You knew money was being diverted, yet you remained silent." "Why?" "I wanted to protect the family," Janelle whispered. "I thought if I stayed quiet, we could fix it privately. I asked Mary to talk to Robyn." All eyes turned to Mary. Her face froze, pale, frightened. The prosecutor stepped closer. "Ms. Brown, were you aware of a storage unit under your name in Flagstaff?" Mary hesitated. "Yes." "And what was stored there?" Her voice cracked. "Documents, deeds, tax papers, the ledgers for our online business." Christine's head jerked up. She hadn't known that. "But I didn't know what they meant," Mary continued. "Kody told me to hold them. Said Robyn already had too much on her plate." Christine rose to her feet. "No, Mary, he made you hide them. Because he knew I was close to finding the truth." The courtroom exploded in whispers. Mary's eyes filled. "I didn't know, Christine. I swear." Christine's voice trembled, but it was steel underneath. "There's no going back now. Not after what they did to us. To our children." The judge slammed his gavel. "Control yourselves or I'll clear this courtroom." But even silence couldn't contain what had just been unleashed. When Janelle resumed, her tone was low, but deadly clear. "I traced one account, the Sacred Circle Holdings LLC, registered under Robyn's maiden name. It owns the Flagstaff mansion." The prosecutor nodded grimly. "That account does not appear in any of the Brown tax filings." Janelle confirmed, "No, never." "And its purpose?" Janelle looked at Christine. "It's all in the envelope. That company owns the house Robyn insisted on, the one she called the safe space for the family." The room buzzed. That house, symbol of privilege, of favoritism, was now Exhibit E. Then out of nowhere, Robyn snapped. "I didn't do it alone," she cried. Every head turned. Kody looked at her wide-eyed. "Robyn, stop." But she didn't. "You told me to. You said the IRS would take everything if Christine left. You said she was trying to ruin us." Christine stared at her, disbelief washing over fury. "You blamed me?" Tears streamed down Robyn's face. "You don't understand. He said you'd destroy everything." Judge Ramirez banged the gavel again. "Enough!" But it was already too late. The truth was out. By afternoon, the courtroom was chaos. Kody shouting denials, Robyn sobbing uncontrollably, Mary frozen. And Janelle, silent, strong, watching it all finally collapse. When the judge called recess, Christine turned to Janelle and whispered, "We're not done. Tomorrow we open the storage unit." Janelle nodded. "And Mary?" She walked out quietly, shoulders heavy, the key still hidden in her palm. Morning broke cold and gray. Mary sat in the courthouse lobby long before anyone arrived, the brass key resting in her trembling hand. She hadn't slept. The guilt, the memories, the weight of it all, crushing. Christine walked in and sat beside her. "You still have it?" she asked softly. Mary nodded. "I thought giving it to you would make everything fall apart." Mary nodded. "I thought giving it to you would make everything fall apart." Christine's voice was calm. "It already has." They entered the courtroom together, the key between them, like a bridge between past and justice. 4 boxes rolled in on a cart, labels faded, taped edges cracking. Exhibit F. Inside them lay the truth. Original deeds, trust papers, tax returns, and one unmarked DVD. Christine held it up. "Your Honor, these came from the Flagstaff unit under Mary Brown's name." The judge nodded. "Admit it." Christine opened the box, took out the disc, and handed it to the clerk. On it, written in black marker, "Family meeting, Vegas 2013, do not share." The courtroom lights dimmed. The footage began. A younger Kody stood in their Las Vegas home. Charismatic, confident, his family gathered. "We need to protect what we've built," he said. "The network money, the book deals, all of it. If it stays under my name, we're vulnerable." Christine's voice, gentle but firm, came from off-screen. "So we put it in the family LLC. All of us sign, all of us vote." Kody shook his head. "Too complicated. Too many cooks in the kitchen." Then came the line, the one that froze the courtroom. "Let's use Robyn," he said. "Put it all in her name. No one will question her. She's the safest bet." The video ended. Silence swallowed the room. The prosecutor rose slowly. "Your Honor, this tape disproves the defense's entire claim. It shows premeditation and conspiracy to conceal assets." Robyn collapsed back into her chair, whispering, "I didn't know he taped it." Judge Ramirez rubbed his temple. "Ms. Brown, you've withheld evidence for years." Mary's voice shook. "I didn't want to believe it. I kept telling myself it was business, not betrayal. But last night, I knew." Christine's eyes glistened. There was no triumph in hers, only heartbreak. Then the judge revealed one final piece. "The court has received a sealed subpoena response from the Flagstaff School District." Everyone froze. The Sacred Circle Education Trust made a large payment to a private tuition fund under the name Dayton Brown. Robyn gasped. "No, that wasn't supposed to—" "Your son," the judge interrupted, "has been subpoenaed to testify." And with that, the courtroom fell into chaos once more. Christine exhaled deeply, her voice trembling but resolute. "This isn't about revenge," she said. "It's about truth, and the children who deserved better." Janelle nodded beside her. "This time, the lies end here. The Brown family legacy, once built on faith and unity, now stood in ruins, undone not by cameras, but by truth. Friends, this is just the beginning. The trial isn't over, and what lies inside those financial ledgers could expose the darkest chapter of the Brown Empire yet. What do you think Christine discovered that even Robyn couldn't face? Was it money? Or something deeper? Tell me your wildest theory in the comments, because this storm is far from over. If you followed this story from the start, the Brown family, the show, the dreams, the promises of unity, then you'll know that this moment was never meant to happen. The cameras might have stopped rolling long ago, but the drama never did. What was once a family built on faith had now turned into a storm of betrayal, signatures, and silence. And at the center of it all stood Christine, eyes burning, breath steady, heartbreaking, as the gavel came down once more. Christine blinked. For a moment, she didn't even understand what she'd heard. The words used as a financial conduit didn't sound real. Her mind refused to accept that it was Dayton, Robyn's own son, now being dragged into the courtroom. An innocent boy once playing in her backyard, now a key in the lock that could open every secret this family had buried. The judge's voice echoed, "This court is adjourned for the day." The gavel struck wood, and with that sound, something inside Christine shattered. Outside, the reporters swarmed like bees around a broken hive. Microphones thrust forward, camera lights cutting through the Arizona sun. Inside, Robyn stood frozen. Her hands trembled. Her lips quivered. "He doesn't know anything!" she cried. He was just a name on a form. But the judge's patience had worn thin. "We will hear from Mr. Dayton Brown tomorrow morning." And just like that, another day, another gavel. Another collapse of what was once called a family. In the hallway, Christine found Mary waiting by the wall, quiet, distant. "You did the right thing," Christine said softly. Mary turned her head slowly, eyes heavy with years of pain. "I didn't do it for you," she whispered. "I did it for me. I was tired of being used." Janelle joined them, her expression calm but her voice hollow. We all were. Outside in the parking lot, Robyn sat in her car, sobbing into her palms. Her mascara ran in uneven rivers. The world she'd protected with lies and half-truths was collapsing, and she knew it. In the car next to hers, Kody sat completely still, staring at the dashboard as if it could tell him what to do. "They're going to turn Dayton against me," Robyn whispered, voice trembling. Kody didn't reply, because deep down he knew she was right. The next morning, the courtroom was packed. Fans, reporters, even former friends of the Browns, all gathered to witness what would become a turning point. The bailiff called out his name, Mr. Dayton Brown. The young man walked forward, hesitant but determined. No tie, just a navy shirt and trembling hands. His face still carried traces of the boy Christine once knew. When he took the stand, Robyn leaned forward, every muscle tense, every tear ready to fall. "State your full name for the record." "Dayton Lee Jessup," he said quietly. "And your relationship to the defendants?" "Robyn Brown is my mother. Kody Brown was my stepdad." The silence that followed was heavier than any sentence. Prosecutor Maddox approached, calm and composed. "Dayton, did you know your name was used to open an education trust under the name Sacred Circle Holdings?" Dayton frowned. "Not exactly. I mean, I knew about a fund, but I didn't know it was under a company." "You didn't open it yourself?" "No, my mom did everything. She said it was for college, maybe grad school." Maddox nodded, then lifted a paper. "Is this your signature?" Dayton leaned forward, studying the page. His brow furrowed. "That's not my handwriting." Gasps rippled through the room. The judge leaned forward and Maddox spoke clearly, his voice carrying to every corner. "Let the record show that the signature was verified under the legal authority of Robyn Brown, signed on behalf of her son." Robyn's hand flew to her mouth. She shook her head, eyes wide. "I didn't mean I thought it was fine." "He's my son." Maddox's tone sharpened. "You forged your son's signature, Mrs. Brown. You used him to divert money meant for all the children." Christine stood suddenly. "May I question him?" she asked the judge. Dayton nodded. She walked closer, slow, calm, but trembling inside. "Dayton, did your mother ever tell you why she moved the money?" He looked down at his lap. "She said she didn't trust you or Janelle. She said if you got angry, you'd take everything." Christine nodded slowly. "And did she ever tell you that money was meant for all of you? Every child?" He shook his head. "She said it was from her own business." Christine smiled sadly. "That's all I needed." When Dayton left the stand, he didn't look back at his mother. And that silence, that quiet rejection, broke Robyn more than any verdict could. Minutes later, Christine's phone buzzed in her pocket. A message from Savannah, Janelle's daughter. "Mom made me send you this. It's from Dad's cloud. You'll understand." Christine opened the screenshot and her blood ran cold. Messages from 2021. Kody to a man labeled Aaron Legal AZ. Ensure Christine's name is removed by end of month. Use old signature scan if necessary. She won't verify it until too late. And another. If Mary asks, tell her it's just a refile. She won't question it. Christine froze. Her name erased on purpose. Her trust sold and forged. Mary used again as cover. She turned on her heel, marched back into the courtroom, and slammed the phone into Maddox's hands. "Put this into evidence. Now." The judge studied the messages. "This is damning," he muttered. Robyn whispered from behind. "He never mentioned that to me." He said Christine signed off. Christine spun around. "You didn't see the forged scan?" "I trusted him," Robyn cried. Christine's voice rose. "You always trusted him, and as long as it kept you blind." The room fell silent. The weight of truth pressed down on everyone. When the court reconvened, Maddox stood tall. "Your Honor, in light of these forged documents and the new electronic evidence, we move to escalate this trial to a criminal case for document forgery, perjury, and misappropriation of funds." The judge didn't hesitate. Motion granted. Bang. And just like that, it was official. No longer family drama. No longer reality TV, now it was criminal. That night, Janelle found Christine outside the courthouse, leaning against a railing, phone in hand, eyes distant. "Savannah did good," Christine murmured. "She did," Janelle replied. "Are you okay?" Christine's gaze stayed on the courthouse doors. "No, but I will be when this ends." Mary sat alone inside, staring at an old photo of herself and Kody from 2009. For a long moment, she just looked. Then, with one small movement, she deleted it. Letting go doesn't happen in one moment. It happens in 1,000 quiet ones, each one a small release of something that once felt like home. The next morning, the crowd was bigger. Cameras weren't allowed, but every seat was filled. They came to see Robyn testify. She walked in slowly, black blouse, hair tied back, face pale but composed. For once, there was no glamour, no show. Just fear. Just fear. "Raise your right hand," the bailiff said. "I do," she whispered. "Miss Brown," Maddox began, "you are the operating officer of Sacred Circle Holdings. You've admitted to using your son's name. Today, we're not here for tears. We're here for truth." Robyn's voice cracked. "I'll tell it. Was it your idea to form the company?" She hesitated. "No, it was Kody's." Gasps spread through the room. Kody's jaw tightened. He said we needed an account outside the sister wives' names in case things fell apart. So you consented to money laundering? Maddox pressed. I didn't think of it that way, Robyn said quickly. I thought I was protecting our family. Did you sign the transfer using Christine's old signature? Robyn froze. Kody handed it to me. He said she'd already signed it. Did you confirm that with Christine? She whispered. No. Before Maddox could continue, the courtroom door opened, and a tall blonde woman stepped in carrying a folder. Your name? The judge asked. Melanie Harris, former accountant for Sacred Circle Holdings. The room erupted again. Melanie took the stand. I worked there from May to October 2021. At first, everything looked normal. Then I found duplicate payments, transfers to shell accounts, and one in particular stood out. L. Jessup. Christine frowned. Jessup, Robyn's birth name. Melanie nodded. That account was in Montana, linked to a P.O. box under the name Lacey Jessup. Robyn's sister. Robyn shot to her feet. That's not true. She had nothing to do with this. Melanie stayed calm. I have bank records, time-stamped. Each withdrawal matched your login sessions. The judge slammed his gavel. Order! The evidence was undeniable. A $72,000 transfer labeled "Hold for emergency use if Christine escalates." Robyn's face drained of color. Kody's eyes burned. You told me to move it, she screamed. I told you to protect it, he snapped. From what? The truth? The courtroom exploded with chaos. When silence finally returned, Maddox raised one last document. Your Honor, with this proof of account tampering and collusion, we move to freeze all assets of Sacred Circle Holdings and begin formal indictments. The judge nodded. Motion granted. And just like that, it was over. The family empire built on shared faith, loyalty, and trust turned to ash in a courtroom. Reporters rushed for the doors. Fans whispered, shaken. Mary wept quietly. Janelle clenched her jaw. Christine didn't move, her eyes locked on Robyn, whose tears finally stopped. In that silence, both women knew. There would be no going back. And as Kody Brown stood to testify, suit crisp, hair tied, that familiar smirk played on his lips, a man still convinced he could talk his way out of ruin. But this time, no charm, no sermon, no smile could save him. Because this wasn't a show anymore. This was Judgment Day. The courtroom had never been this still. The air itself seemed to tremble with the weight of what was about to unfold. Janelle leaned forward, expression carved in granite. Mary refused to glance at him. Robyn? She sat alone now and a couple of chairs away, a gulf wider than distance itself. The space between them wasn't just physical. It was legal, emotional, permanent. Kody fidgeted with the microphone. His hands twitched, but his voice stayed steady, too steady. The judge's tone was measured, formal. Mr. Brown, you've been subpoenaed to testify under oath. Do you comprehend? I do, Kody replied. Prosecutor Maddox adjusted her papers, her eyes unflinching. Let's begin with the Sacred Circle Holdings account. You stated in pre-trial interviews that this LLC was formed to insulate family wealth, correct? Yes. And it was your initiative. Kody nodded stiffly. I devised the structure, but I didn't handle the day-to-day. Robyn did. So you outsourced. Yes. What Kody didn't realize was that every answer he gave was digging him deeper, feeding a story that was no longer his to control. Maddox leaned forward. When Christine's name was stripped from various property documents, did you authorize that? Kody straightened. I took care of the logistics, he said coolly. But she'd already gone. She told us she didn't want anything more to do with it. Christine stood. That is a lie. Ms. Allred, the judge warned. She is not lying, Christine snapped, trembling but unbroken. Maddox stepped closer to the witness stand. We have email records and text confirmations showing that Ms. Allred requested her documents 3 times, all within days of her name being deleted from the deeds. She slapped a folder on the table. The printed emails flared beneath the courtroom lights. Kody's eyes narrowed. I thought we were beyond that. She was leaving. So you forged her signature? I didn't forge anything, Kody insisted. Then who did? It was automatic, he muttered. We used a scanned signature from before. It was just temporary. Christine let out a sharp breath. A temporary transfer worth $2 million? Maddox's tone cut through the air. That's a felony, Mr. Brown. The room stirred. Kody's composure cracked. Sweat beaded at his temples. For a man who lived by control, This was the moment it slipped away, and with it, his credibility. Did you or did you not instruct your assistant to use the old scan? Christine won't notice until it's too late? Maddox asked. I don't think I said that. The courtroom doors opened. The bailiff entered holding a flash drive. Play it, Maddox ordered. The lights dimmed. On the screen, grainy footage flickered to life. Kody pacing in his office, unaware his webcam had been left on. If Christine pushes this, we bury her in paperwork. Use the scan. Merge the Vegas accounts. Call it consolidation. Mary will cover if she asks. He laughed. The clip ended. Silence. Kody's face drained of color. Christine clenched her jaw. Robyn shut her eyes. The judge leaned forward. Do you deny this recording, Mr. Brown? No response. Mr. Brown? Kody finally whispered, No, I was venting. It wasn't serious. Maddox's voice rose. You moved real money, you signed contracts, and you erased names. That's not venting. That's fraud. Kody slammed a hand on the table. You don't understand. The show is collapsing. Everyone depended on me. You want to crucify me for trying to provide? Maddox stayed calm. No, we want to convict you for being a thief. The judge's tone turned grave. Mr. Brown, based on the evidence, this court will recommend felony charges for document forgery, fraudulent transfer, and conspiracy to defraud co-signers of a lawful LLC. No one gasped this time. They simply exhaled, as though the truth itself had finally surfaced. Kody's head lowered. Christine rose to her feet. Her voice quivered but didn't waver. I gave you 30 years of my life, she said. And you treated me like a loose end. Mary stood too, her voice a whisper that cut through the stillness. You didn't lie to them, Kody. You lied to me. I kept covering for you, thinking you'd become the man you claimed to be. But he's gone. Kody didn't respond. He didn't need to. The silence spoke for him, the silence of a man who had finally run out of defenses. The court adjourned. Christine followed Janelle into the hallway. Her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. I have what you're missing. Meet me behind the courthouse at 3:15. Janelle frowned. Who is it? Christine stared at the message. No name, just a number. Someone who knows something. Janelle caught her wrist. You can't go alone. I won't. They walked together through the side door. Rain pattered faintly against the concrete. A woman stood by the courthouse wall, auburn hair falling over dark sunglasses, holding a manila folder. I knew this day would come, the woman said. I tried to warn Robyn, but now it's your turn. Christine froze. She knew that voice. Not from court, but from a dinner years ago. Robyn's cousin. The woman removed her glasses. This, she said softly, holding out the folder, is the original contract. Signed by Robyn and Kody, dated 2 years before you left. Christine's pulse thundered. So the fraud wasn't a reaction. It was planned. Yes, the woman whispered. From the very beginning. The next morning, the courtroom was colder. Rain slicked the windows. Christine entered, the folder clutched tight. Rain slicked the windows. Christine entered, the folder clutched tight. She approached the stand. Your Honor, these are the original Sacred Circle Holdings papers signed by Robyn and Kody in February 2020, a full year and a half before I left the family. The judge blinked. Authenticated? By notary. Maddox's voice rose. This directly contradicts the defense's claim that the company was formed after Christine's departure. This proves premeditated fraud. For the first time, the room viewed Christine not as a victim, but as the woman who dismantled an empire. Robyn trembled. The judge turned to her. Ms. Brown, do you wish to respond? Robyn stood slowly. Her voice cracked. I didn't think it would ever come out. Kody's head snapped up. Robyn, stop! But she didn't. She looked straight at the judge. We started planning Sacred Circle when Kody told me he no longer trusted Janelle. He said Mary was checked out and Christine, she was planning to escape. Mary gasped. Janelle's jaw tightened. Robyn's voice shook. He told me we had to act before the show ended, before anyone noticed. I asked if we should tell them. He said no. He said they'd overreact. Kody leapt up. You agreed. You signed. I signed because I believed you. She shouted back. You said it was protection. You promised no one would get hurt. Order. The judge barked. Robyn broke down, sobbing. I thought we were protecting the family, she said through tears. But it wasn't about family. It was about control. Kody made the decisions. He had access to Christine's scan. He transferred the funds. I was scared to say no. Maddox pressed gently. You're saying you were coerced? No, I'm saying I was terrified. Christine's expression was unreadable. And you let him destroy us, she said quietly. Robyn nodded. I did. The judge exhaled heavily. With the testimonies, the financial records, and video proof, this court finds sufficient grounds to formalize criminal charges against Kody Brown and Robyn Brown for conspiracy, forgery, and misappropriation of joint assets. The sound of the gavel echoed like a final heartbeat. Christine's knees wobbled, but Janelle caught her. You did it, she whispered. Mary wiped silent tears, not of sadness, but of release. Outside, the rain had stopped. The air was clean again. But just as everyone began to rise, Maddox spoke once more. One last issue, Your Honor. We've discovered a recent transfer, made after the trial began, to an account under the name Aurora Collier. Robyn's face blanched. That's my daughter. The courtroom froze. This isn't just fraud, Maddox said softly. It's generational manipulation, money funneled through minors. The judge's tone hardened. This court will reconvene tomorrow to examine this evidence. Bang. The session ended. Outside, Christine stepped into sunlight, the weight of years easing from her shoulders. Mary joined her. We don't have to be who we were. They turned to look back at the courthouse. Behind those walls, their past was finally collapsing,